first of all, you guys gave me all the information I needed. You made the appointment for me. We talked about, how to get down there, what to do with parking, kind of what to expect. I told you what I was after, and you set me up with what you felt was the best dentist to handle my issue. And so I felt very prepared going down there. It was a quick drive, maybe 90 minutes, and super easy to park, uh, very easy to walk right over the border. And literally, once you walk over the border, it's like 50 steps to the dentist. I mean, it's like right there. So that was nice. It was pretty easy to find. It's clean. I like that. They were, of course, that's right in the middle of COVID. So, I mean, you walk in, first of all, they have a little hand sanitizer. They took my temperature, and it was more just take temperature. I actually looked into some expensive piece of equipment that with my eyes, and it told them what my temperature was. So that was good. They were much more COVID cautious than anything in the United States. So that impressed me. The lobby was big and clean, and the staff was super nice and got me back on time. My husband went with me. So we were like right next to each other with the dentist. I had my guy, and then like 10 feet away was my husband with his guy. So I was literally in that chair for 5 hours. I didn't move. Um, it really wasn't painful at all, a few shots, but then they put that lidocaine in your mouth, so you really can't hardly feel it at all. It's like getting a filling. Numbed me all up. I was very impressed with well, let me back up and say what they did first was they did x-rays. They did x-rays, they did a cleaning on me, they looked at my whole dental health. He numbed me up. At some point too, they did a full, like, I don't know, laser photography. Like they were able to map my whole mouth out with the CAD design, which was all done right there. And then the doctor was able to basically create my teeth. And he had to make sure that the bites matched. He had to make sure, like, some of the parts of my teeth that were bigger or shorter, wider, fatter, like they're the same. It's almost like I had the same teeth in my mouth, but they're a little longer. They look a lot nicer. They're straight. They're white. Um, and then we talked about the color shade, and I didn't want something too white, so I picked like the third darkest color. And I think he gave me the second darkest, which now I'm glad about because they look so natural. Nobody has ever said, are those crowns or are those fake? I get a lot of compliments on my teeth, but it's not because they're bright white, which they're not. It's because they look so good. So once they got me numbed up, they did a temporary. And then they have a 3D printer, which I'm sure is expensive. And you can actually see the 3D printer through a window in the lobby. So you're in the lobby, look through the glass, and right there's a 3D printer that's making the crowns. So in the case where my husband has needed like a crown, like you're in and out in 45 minutes with the crown. For me, it took them all night to 3D print and make all of my crowns. So we stayed at a hotel in Mexico. I would probably recommend going back over the border and going into Nogales, Arizona. There's a Holiday Inn Express there. I think I would have been more comfortable there. I don't think I would have spent much more money back in the US, honestly. So I would have gone back over the border. Overall, it was okay though. So I was probably in the chair for 5 hours from like 9 to 2. And then my husband had already gone back to the hotel, and the office manager, and this is like 3 or 4 or 5 blocks away, she actually walked me to my hotel because my husband didn't want me to walk by myself, which I was fully capable of. But anyway, the manager of the dental office walked me to my hotel, which I thought was really nice. And the next morning, it wasn't an early morning appointment, it was about a noon appointment. So they numb you back up, and then they just took about 3 hours, and they just glue every single crown in. So what I liked was they had a guarantee, I believe, for the first 2 years at 100%, and which is nice. For like years 3 through 5, I think I have like a 50% coverage if I have to have something done. So the warranty or guarantee they offered was nice. It was helpful. But that's about it. I recommend that people ask for a 9 a.m. appointment, get yourself over the border. Because sometimes we'll go over there at 9 and by 11 we're back done and my husband has a crown or two. Seems like every time he goes, he needs a crown. The other thing I really recommend people get is the Sentry card, which is spelled SENTRI. And I think it's under $100. I think it's good for like 5 years. It includes TSA pre-check for flying, and you go right to the front of the line. You do not wait to cross the border. We just walk right up to the front. The Border Patrol lets us in, and then, of course, they send you through a little x-ray and screen your bags and such and ask you questions.
By the way, your teeth look beautiful.
Thank you. I have some before and afters on my phone. I show people. They're like, well, you didn't really need them. My teeth were straight, but they were really short, and I didn't like them. And I would have to say and of course, I saved so much money. I saved over $20,000 had I had them done here. That's a lot of money. So, and I'm a fan of Mexico. I've actually been to Tijuana in the last 15 years, 3 times for 11 different medical surgeries. So I'm a fan. I think it's clean down there, every bit as clean or better than the US, and the care I've always gotten has been really, really good. They do ask that we come back twice a year for cleaning, which is reasonable because they want to look at the crowns. They want to make sure that they're okay and that there's not anything loose or any problem. They won't honor the warranty if you don't get the cleanings. Now, they're not like real specific. Sometimes I'm like 7 months, 8 months between cleanings. So they're pretty flexible that way, but they do want you back on somewhat of a regular basis, which is like really inexpensive to just get your teeth cleaned and make sure everything's good.
Yeah.
I live in a retirement community and there was an elderly gal. She couldn't afford a $1,700 crown. I said, you know what, we'll take you. Me and my husband will take you down there. And we took her down and it was a great experience. And we were back in the US within 90 minutes. And I tell all my friends, look, I'll go down there with you. It's not that big of a deal. I'll go down, I'll walk you through it. You can see exactly what to expect. It's not hard. It's not that big of a deal. It's not scary. But there's like a lot of shopping right there. I mean, like right outside the dentist office, there's beautiful shops and you can get food in that area, amazing coffee. You can buy items, gift items for your home. I would say there's a pharmacy about every 12 feet. And so that has been helpful because I have loaded up. I can't even tell you on pharmacy items down there that are much easier to get down there, much less expensive.
Was there like a moment that you just went, wow?
I mean, just when I looked in the mirror, I was so happy. Something that I always wanted to do. And I've lived in Seattle. There was really no way Mexico was not even really on my radar. So I just never thought about it. Once I came down here and retired, I'm like, there's just no reason not to do it. And it probably has just boosted my self-esteem, my confidence. I get a lot of compliments on my smile, and it makes me feel really, really good about myself. So that's the best part of it. Yeah, you guys were really helpful. Like I said, I've sent a lot of people your way. You have been great to talk to. I never felt rushed on the phone. Of course, someone like me has a million questions, and you were patient. You answered all my questions, which I had a lot of. And you guys have been, relatively easy to get a hold of. And if I've left messages, you guys have always called back right away. And then when I start talking about the cost and how much money they can save, they're like, they seem more open to it. And when I tell them, look, I'll go with you if you want me to, because I want to just help people and I want them to understand that they can get great dental care at a third of the cost it is here. It's insane here. So, I just send them your contact information and they call you, and then I usually don't hear from them again because they just go down with a spouse or a friend and then they're happy. So yeah, hope you guys like stick around for a long time. But no, I appreciate everything, and I've been exceptionally happy. I haven't had any bad experiences. I've probably been down there now probably at least 6 times, whether for myself or taking friends. And it's always been a good experience. So people don't need to be afraid, because I actually think a lot of medical and dental care you get in Mexico, I think is almost better than the US in so many ways. I really do. Yeah, that's it. You guys are awesome.